he could be the one violated, abused. Nature is totally just in that way. That's the beauty of the cosmos. What goes around comes around. If you base your life on animal slaughter by way of your diet or your occupation or your business, then in your next life you must become subject to that same slaughter, because you have to get what you dished out. This is how nature is so just. We've often explained that sometimes people think there's such a thing as an innocent child. No. Nature is so beautiful that although the child doesn't remember its karmic reactions from the previous life, nature notes everything down, so to speak, and gives that child exactly what it's due according to reactions from the past life. So basically the so-called innocence of a child is simply based on time. The seeds of the reactions are already in the child's body, waiting for the right time to sprout. So there's no such thing as an innocent child. The child's body is a bag of reactions waiting for the right time to manifest, to become ripe. People have their own imagined sense of cosmic beauty and justice. I was speaking about this, I can't remember, maybe it was in Australia, Melbourne, Australia on Thursday. Or maybe it was here, not at the loft, but somewhere else in the Auckland area. How people are turned off when they are presented with a doomsday environmentalist presentation. Climate change is coming. The effects of global warming are upon us. Will humanity survive? Some psychologists have pointed out that people quickly turn off. Oh, no, it can't be that bad. I was just reading before I came here how no one knows when before there has ever been in human history 2 major devastating tsunamis within the same decade. The one spawned by the earthquake off Indonesia and the recent one in Japan. Scientists can't remember when 2 such major tsunamis were triggered in the same decade. But something tells us, no, that's just coincidence. Things can't be that bad. After all, I'm recycling my rubbish. I've changed my light bulbs. They're all energy-saving light bulbs. I've done a few things that will make a difference. This is called single-act consciousness. This is our approach to solving the world's problems. Just doing one single act. Changing the light bulbs to energy-saving. Done. Okay? I'm guilt-free now. And then our worry load is excessive. We've got to cope with the daily grind of paying the rent, paying the mortgage, paying for this, paying for that, paying off the credit card. How much more room in our brain do we have for other worries? Worries about climate change or global warming. Human beings have a limit to how much they can worry about. So if anyone tries to exceed that limit, we just push it out of our mind. Nah, it can't be that bad. I got enough troubles already. The environment can't be that bad. I've got to focus on paying my bills. So in this way, we kind of psychologically isolate ourselves in an artificial way. So psychologists have found out that people consciously or unconsciously reject a doomsday approach. No matter how you support that doomsday with all kinds of scientific evidence. Especially in the first world, in the developed nations, known often as the mature free market democracies. People just think, it can't get that bad. After all, we still can vote. It can't be that bad. It can't get that bad. After all, look how many TV stations we can get. I mean, really, we're having the Rugby World Cup here. It shows things can't get completely out of control. This is human nature. So I gave the example about how at was that big environmental gathering that happened in Copenhagen? What's it called? It was the world's biggest get-together.
International Convention on Climate Change?
Yeah, International Convention on Climate Change. Some world leaders went there and so on and so forth. So, before that, at the start of those proceedings, a film clip was shown of the year 2050. And the film presented how children who are unborn now, but who will be born at mid-century, they'll be suffering so much because of environmental problems. And those children who are little now, they'll be adults mid-century, and they'll have to suffer excruciating effects due to climate change. So psychologists, they went and interviewed viewers of this film, and they found out a surprising thing, that most viewers were not positively affected. Most viewers rejected the film because consciously or unconsciously the viewers were thinking, the universe can't work like that. How can it be that unborn children will suffer for what we have done now? How can it be that little children now, 50 years in the future, will suffer? No, the universe can't work that way. There's this unconscious notion of the just world. These innocent little ones, the unborn little ones, what do they have to do with the environmental problems that human beings today have caused? Surely the universe will smile upon them and somehow or other mitigate any effects in the future from what we've done today. People actually feel that way. How could this little child here, how could this little 3-year-old, who hasn't done anything to increase the ecological footprint, how can that child suffer 50 years from now? No, the universe can't work in that way. This is the just world syndrome. The yogi is trained to see the beauty in the cosmic jurisprudence system, a system of action followed by reaction. That's a kind of beauty. Everyone gets their just desserts. By understanding that beauty, you can save yourself so much unnecessary endeavor. So these days we're forced to recognize the beauty of mobile phone ringtones. Don't they get more beautiful with each passing year? So, real yoga elevates and expands your understanding and perception of what is beautiful. Real yoga allows you to see the beauty of nature's arrangements and the beauty of nature's arrangements beyond material nature. You can only be satisfied to the core of your being by recognizing the eternal beauty beyond material actions and reactions, beyond material transformations. That means beyond happiness and distress. Happiness and distress is just a temporary transformation of matter. Happiness agitates just like distress agitates, but most people have a very difficult time understanding how it is that happiness can agitate your consciousness. It comes and goes, and that creates pain in you. Why can't the happiness stay? And even when you think you have happiness right now, it's laced with anxiety. How long will it last? It could go away any moment. And just maybe someone is more happy than me right now. Where was it I spoke about the yogi and... No, it was not a yogi, it was a genie, yes. Where did I speak about that? I don't think it was here. It was in Melbourne. The week before I was in India, and then last week I was in Melbourne. So, now I'm here. So, there was a man, a materialist like the Predator from South London that you saw. And he found a bottle with a genie in it. And he opened the cork and freed the genie. And so the genie appeared. Yes, I am your servant. You have freed me from the bottle. You may ask me anything that you desire. And then under his breath, because genies can be tricky, under his breath the genie said, and whatever you ask for, I'll give your neighbor twice as much. The man didn't hear that. The Predator didn't hear that. So, the Predator was thinking, I can ask for anything I want. Wow. Okay, what can I start with? I want the top-of-the-line BMW. Poof! There it was, right in front of his house. Then, he was ecstatic. Wow, BMW, the car of my dreams. But after a while, he happened to glance across the street to his neighbor's house. And there was a gold-plated Rolls Royce. Twice as valuable as his car. The man, he didn't catch on. What can I ask the genie for now? I would like a palace. Turn my house into a palace. Poof. His modest upper middle class home in Remuera became a palace. He was very happy for a moment, he thought. He thought this was real happiness. Then he looked across the street, and his neighbor's house had turned into a palatial skyscraper 5-star hotel. So at this point, the man was starting to wonder, what's going on here? So he tried one more time. I would like the most beautiful girl in existence as my partner. Poof! There she was, voluptuous, enticing. He was very happy for a short time, glancing over her. And then he happened to look across the street. And he saw his neighbor had 2 beautiful partners. One holding each hand. And at this point, he began to suspect the genie.